Hello, Internet. I've gotten a few emails about this topic, and people have asked me what to do, so it is appropriate for me to record a video and put it out there. It's for the USPSA people. If you don't shoot USPSA, this video is not for you. Let me read from an email. The United States Practical Shooting Association is excited to announce the 2023 elections for the offices of President, Area 6 Director, Area 8 Director, voting period from June 15 to July 16th. That's tomorrow. Okay, so people have asked me what I think about this. Well, I'm going to pull up my notes here and we will talk about it. Well, you guys have seen the stuff that's gone on the last couple of years. Most of you have. I mean, maybe you're sketch on the details, but you understand. I criticized them a lot. I got kicked out. So did a couple other people. They're losing money at this point. There's been a lot of drama in USPSA for sure. And a lot of people don't really like what's happening. You know, there's been a lot of people don't like rule changes, or they don't like the way the Tony Cowden cheating situation didn't get handled. They didn't like that. That pissed a lot of people off, including me. People maybe didn't like a few of the critics like me getting booted, but they understood. But I think this Yemen thing, removing the elected president, really over some nonsense, like a pretty weak reason, taking away the RO creds. The whole thing, it reeks. It doesn't seem right, and I think a lot of people are seeing that. A lot of people don't like it. Well, the cool thing is, this is the chance to flip the board, if you think about it. With 3 seats up, you know, the majority could swing, well, yeah, to people that aren't the current ruling regime. I obviously don't like these guys. I haven't liked them for a long time. We don't get along. We don't like each other. But yeah, whatever. I'll explain a little more. The organization, the behavior has been bad. And yeah, in addition to the Yemen thing, I think a lot of people are concerned about the money situation, with the amount of money the organization is losing. Maybe this thing's not even sustainable economically, which it really should be. It's an easy thing to do. It's an easy way to make money for them. They don't do that much. They just can collect classifier fees and memberships, put on a nationals, put out a magazine. It shouldn't be that hard. They should not be losing money, yet they are. I don't know. I mean, here's a good thing to kind of highlight what's annoying to people. Yemen, the president that's elected by people, loses his range officer status and is kicked off the board as per the bylaws. Okay. Mel Rodero, the Area 4 director, who's in the cool kid club, not in the not cool kid club, he's on the board. He's not a range officer, and he's not kicked off the board. Contemporaneously, at the same time, like this is going on together. Totally different outcomes, and it would appear just based on who the personality is. And that's really kind of how they do business. It's not principles, it's personalities with the current ruling regime for USPSA. It seems like, look, this isn't going to get better unless people do something about it and actually, vote. Like, a lot of people have said, hey, Ben, you should file a lawsuit. Like, I don't really want to do that. That seems kind of dumb. It would be a lot of time and hassle for me, and then the organization would fight me with your money. It just seems like, and then what would be achieved anyway? Like, maybe I'd be allowed to shoot again. That would be the best outcome after all that. Wouldn't really fix anything. People are going to have to vote, I think. Now, only 20% of the membership votes, and that's kind of a good thing if you think about it, because it should be pretty easy to flip the election if a few of you guys talk to your friends and kind of push the issue at matches. Yeah, it's possible to do something about it. When so few people participate, it doesn't take many more to change things. Yeah. Well, people have been voting. We've got some hope now. But I mean, just to give you the situation, if you're not aware, in my view, there's 2 good guys on the board. Got the Area 7 director, Frank Rizzi, who I think is cool. Like, his head's in the right place. He's a really solid guy. Like, you would trust him. if you knew him. He does a lot of work for his own club, and he's into shooting. I mean, he's hosted me for classes, which I appreciate. So I kind of got to know him a little bit that way. Better than I ever knew Foley, if you're curious. And I've been really impressed with him. And he got on the board, he got elected, which is cool. And he's outnumbered for a while. You know, you could tell if you read the minutes close, you could tell that Frank was just like one man against all of them. I'm sure they hate him. I'm sure they've been not very nice to Frank. Things got a lot better when Scott Arnberg from Area 3 got on the board. So Scott, I've known him for a while, and he understands finances really well, and he's a smart guy. He's he's one of the most reasonable range masters. He'll just come out and tell you, like, yeah, I don't like this rule, but this is what Troy did, or whatever. I mean, he's pretty straight. I mean, even if he's doing something you don't like, he's not going to like lie about it or be weird. I mean, he's just going to tell you straight like what he's doing. He's not really mean about it. He's pretty nice. I'm happy to have him as a range master back when I was doing USPSA. So now with the two of them, with Frank and Scott together, like they're making some headway, but like the rest of the group still has enough votes. Like they could remove one of those guys if they could get enough of a pretext. And the two guys that we have on the board, they don't really have any way to force anything to happen. Like they can't get financial information if the board or their whatever puppets they're paying that they employ. Like they can't get, these guys can't get info if those people just don't give it up. Yeah, so Area 6 and Area 8 are up. It looks like the FUDs are running Russell Fortney and Kyle Stevens, which they're both going to be really strong candidates, to be honest with you. Like, so like the board has a lot of people, like they know a lot of people. They're around a lot of matches. A lot of people support them. I mean, that's a core group of people that vote, and they're going to get those people behind those two candidates. So like people, well, yeah, they're going to be hard to beat. Now they've got Ben Berry running and Vince Luschetti, who I interviewed. Vince, I've known Ben for a while. Those guys would get my vote, like enthusiastically. Now you do the best you can kind of judging these people, but just based on what I've seen, those guys are at least going to ask questions, and that would be pretty cool. And I think they're going to vote the right way when they're given a chance, and they're going to listen to you. That's an important thing. So if they get, hundreds of emails from people saying, hey, this is messed up or whatever, like they will listen to that and consider your arguments. They're not the type of boneheads that are in there now that they simply do not take input. They don't listen to anyone. They do what they want to do. And if, whatever, they're just going to do that. They'll lie to you about it, but that's what they're going to do. Those guys would get my vote for sure. As far as the presidential election, Luigi Lee would get my vote. Joel interviewed him for Training Group. He's very critical of the board. He's got a lot of these same views. Like, yeah, he kind of would, yeah, I would vote for him for sure. And he travels around a lot nationally. People know who he is. I think he'll be a strong candidate. He's got a good chance to win. Yeah, so there is actually potential for taking a majority on the board if you guys make it happen. It could be cool. You might actually get some answers for what's going on, or maybe people straighten out the organization. Or imagine if like the board held Troy accountable for what he does, or they fired Jake or whatever. Imagine it. Imagine the possibilities. The FUDs, the board, the midwit cabal, they're hoping people do what they always do. And that's what people always do, is they're like, hey man, I just want to shoot, and they don't really care. And then, because these things that I'm talking about, they all kind of happen in slow motion. It takes years for these things to play out. And, people cycle in and cycle out and come and go. And new people don't really know what's going on or don't care, mostly don't care. And the board that sits now is just hoping like, yeah, it's like people aren't going to do anything. Like they don't vote, like nobody votes, nobody really cares, whatever. Like that's what they're hoping, that people just do what they normally do. So we'll see. I think people are pretty jazzed about the Yeeman thing, especially like electing a president for the board to remove him over some BS. People don't like that. They just inherently don't like that. So maybe they will like push. I think you should. I mean, personally, I would. This is like, those guys would get my vote if I had the chance to vote. I'm not allowed to vote, not being a member, of course. But if I could vote, I'd vote for Luigi. I'd vote for Ben Berry. I'd vote for Vince Luchetti. Those are the guys I'd vote for, and I'd encourage other people to vote for them. And then, you know, I'd talk to people at matches who are like, people are like, yeah, I don't really care about that stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, I get that, but this time you probably should. Like, this would be kind of, if you want to preserve this thing, you know, more or less what it is, you might have to do something, because these guys are complete morons, and they are like, they're running the organization into the ground, like financially especially. So yeah, that's what I got for you.